What is going on in the Minnesota House? The DFL has been boycotting. The Minnesota Supreme Court invalidates GOP House actions, and the questions just keep coming. Both the Minnesota House, DFL, and GOP #2 leaders are live in studio this morning. We'll hear from Republican Harry Niska in just minutes, but let's start with DFL leader Jamie Long. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks, Esme. Good to be with you.
I know that the leaders, Demuth and Hortman, had talks yesterday. It sounds like nothing came of it.
Well, talks are continuing, but the ask is pretty straightforward, which is that we're asking that the voters of Minnesota be respected. And those are the voters of Shakopee who sent Representative Tabke to the Minnesota House. And those are the voters of Minnesota who sent a tie to the House as well. We're saying when we're in a tie, we should be able to govern together.
Let's talk about Representative Tabke in just a little bit, because I know that's a big issue. But tomorrow, will the DFL representatives be showing up at the House? As of right now?
We would very much like to, but if we show up right now,
so it's a no
they're going to kick out Representative Brad Tabke. And last week you had Representative Demuth on the program, and you asked her 3 times if she would agree to kick out Brad Tabke or not. She dodged the question, and that's because it's indefensible. Representative Tabke has won 3 times. He's won on Election Day, he's won in a recount, and he's won in court, and yet the Republicans are saying they're going to kick him out.
All right. Granted that a court has ruled that the sessions that the Republicans had were invalid, but should you or the Republicans now get paid at all in this period when you're not at the House where you're supposed to be?
Well, until we have an agreement, we're not going to be having at least housing or per diem. That's clear. So there is an incentive for all of us to work together. But we've been working. We've just been working in our districts. We would like nothing more than to be back at the Capitol. And what we put forward is that the Republicans can be in charge when they have a temporary advantage. Okay. But when we get back to a tie, we should share power.
So right now, both Republicans and Democrats should get paid, even though they're not going to be at the House tomorrow, as of this moment.
Well, I think that's what statutes would say. Okay. But no housing, no per diem. And so there is a strong incentive to work together.
All right. What is the end game here? Because I think people are really frustrated, and they want to see both sides work together. I mean, the governor was at the Rapidan Dam this past week. They need $900 million for a bonding bill. None of that's going to happen if you guys can't get together. I mean, what is the end game?
Well, I agree. I was disappointed that the Republicans took the illegal and unconstitutional steps that they did, and the court had to put that back. Now it's very clear the only path forward is to work together. The Minnesota Senate, GOP, has agreed that when they're tied, they share power. That's what we're asking.
Well, actually, the Minnesota Constitution allows the House, or allows the legislature to decide the members. So that is legal. That's within the Constitution of Minnesota. And I didn't know that until this came up.
Well, that's true for Representative Tabke, and so they certainly have the power to kick out Representative Tabke. But if they did that, it would be an incredible abuse of power, the first time in state history that a member has been kicked out for doing no wrong themselves.
All right. And obviously that election is controversial, but you're right. He did win the election. He won a recount, and the court has ruled in that. One thing that got overlooked this past week, I think, is that Aaron Paul, the Republican in that race, said he was not going to appeal to the Minnesota Supreme Court, which of course he could have. He was very critical of the judge's earlier ruling. What difference does that make in your view?
Well, I think that speaks volumes. I think it shows that they don't believe they have a chance to overturn the ruling of the court, and the ruling of the court should be respected. They found that the voters of Shakopee, 22,000 voters, sent Brad Tabke to the House, and that it was mathematically impossible that Representative Tabke lost.
Right. Well, they did have 6 voters testify that they thought those were their ballots or whatever.
Right.
In terms of, again, the end game, so this is just going to continue. Is this going to continue until March when that special election in the Roseville seat's going to come up?
We sure hope not. We would be back in the chamber tomorrow if we had an agreement that they would not kick out Representative Tabke, and that we would share power when we're back to a tie.
And the agreement worked out, Leader Hortman has said, is that Republicans can have control why they have this 68-67 majority for the next few weeks until the special election, and Representative Demuth would in fact be the House Speaker.
That's right, up until mid-March, and that was good enough for the Senate GOP. It was frankly good enough for the House GOP in November and December, but they've walked back from that, and it's inexplicable to me why they did. I think it is very common sense to the public of Minnesota that if they sent a tie to the House, they expect us to work together.
All right. Well, I think everyone expects you to work together. Thank you very much, Representative Jamie Long. Welcome back. You heard from the DFL moments ago. We are glad now to welcome the GOP's #2 House Leader, Representative Harry Niska of Ramsey. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Esme.
All right. What is going to happen tomorrow? The judge ruling that invalidated basically your meeting and doing anything specific, but you're still going to meet tomorrow, as I understand it?
Absolutely, Esme. The court ruling, I think, really sharpened the question we've been asking. When are Democrats going to show up for work? Republicans have been showing up for work. We want to get to work for the people of Minnesota. We'll be at work tomorrow, and we're hoping that Democrats will finally do their duty, do their job, and show up for work at the Capitol when we have session.
Representative Hortman has been saying for several weeks that if the Republicans recognize and seat Representative Brad Tapke, Democrat in that controversial Shakopee election, then you guys can have control, complete control, until sometime probably in March, and Lisa Damath would be, in fact, the House Speaker. What about that deal?
Well, they haven't exactly said that, but right now...
Well, she has said that. I mean, she said that.
She has said that's one of their conditions. They have other conditions that they have that they require Republicans to agree to in order for them to just show up for their job. But Brad Tapke is the only one right now who's unseating Brad Tapke. I've been at the House for 2 weeks, and Brad Tapke has never showed up. There is an election contest that, as you were discussing with Representative Long, the House might eventually have to decide, and Republicans aren't willing to just prejudge that election contest at the outset.
If everybody came back together tomorrow, would the GOP, which will have a majority, recognize Brad Tapke?
The Brad Tapke is a member of the Minnesota House of Representatives. He would have a vote. He would have a voice. Eventually, there probably would be an election contest going forward. That's something that Aaron Paul has asked for. And then that's a legal process that has to play out in the Minnesota House. Evidence would have to be introduced, and then every House member has to take that responsibility seriously.
Really, you're saying that as far as you're concerned, at the moment, it's a no. But let me ask you, Aaron Paul had the choice to appeal to the Minnesota Supreme Court, and he said no. He's declining. This is the Republican who came so close. Doesn't that mean he is acknowledging the court's decision?
No, what he's acknowledging is what Brad Tapke has said about the court's decisions, which that they're advisory and that it's ultimately the House that makes the decision. And so the House might have to engage in a legal process where each one of us essentially sit as judges. And I don't think it's right for the House, for House members to just decide that issue before it would come before us.
And this is something actually I think a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know it before. The legislature, the Minnesota legislature, has the constitutional power to seat representatives. That's not the case in many legislative bodies. I want to ask you about something, because there's obviously the legal path, and then there's the path of maybe what should you do. A number of years ago, 17 years ago, there was a very controversial election in this state. Norm Coleman lost by 312 votes. In that election, there were votes that were counted from a precinct where votes were also lost. In the end, the Minnesota Supreme Court said, yes, Senator Franken, or Al Franken, should be seated. Norm Coleman could have appealed, but he said, this is a time now, we're done, this is a time for Minnesota to come together. Isn't this a time for Minnesota to come together? Well,
I think it's a time for Democrats to show up for work. And if it comes to that, then the place to have that conversation is on the House floor, where every member of the House has a voice and a vote. And right now, it's Democrats who are refusing to show up for work because they think that down the road, a decision might not turn out the way that they want. They have the right to make their voice known in that process, but they don't have the right to not show up for work and deprive Minnesotans of a working legislature because they want a certain outcome to be pre-committed out at the beginning.
Should representatives of both parties get paid?
Well, I don't think Democrats who aren't showing up for work should get paid. Every Republican has been showing up for work. And it's only because 66 Democrats aren't showing up for work that the Minnesota Supreme Court has said that we can't do the work that we've been trying to do.
All right, but they can't show up for work together in terms of a full House seating until this is all worked out.
Well, they can't show up for work as long as they choose not to show up for work. Republicans are showing up for work. When are Democrats going to show up for work?
You know, it doesn't sound like there's any resolution in sight. talking to both of you. I mean, is this going to go on through March?
Well, that's what it sounded like Representative Long was threatening, that they are going to stay home from work until March unless certain demands are met. No Minnesotan gets that opportunity to just not show up for work, get paid, and because you don't like the working conditions. I went to work every day for the last 2 years. Votes didn't go my way, but I didn't just stop showing up for work. That's not the way that Minnesotans expect us to do it. That's not what I've been hearing from my constituents.
All right. Well, Representative Niska, thank you so much. We obviously will be following this story. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.